Google has lofty ambitions for its coming cloud-based game platform Stadia, many of which include giving game developers and players alike the ability to approach video games in a different way. Speaking during the Gamasutra Summit earlier today, Google VP Phil Harrison said that one of the key goals of Stadia is to change the perceived value of games and make games as a whole a more discoverable medium. Discoverability is an important topic for any storefront, and one that many platforms struggle to deal with as the number of games they support increases. To solve this issue for Stadia, Google wants to step away from traditional storefronts and the discoverability issues that come with both physical retailers and digital catalogs. For Stadia, the only storefront is the Internet. He said the Chrome-driven platform gets rid of some of the artificial barriers that have previously been put in front of players, making it possible for players to pick up a game they are interested in or recommend one to a friend, without needing to go to a retailer or wait hours for a game to install. If you find a game you think I will love, I can send you a link and you can play it, he said, calling back to the fact that one of Stadia's flagship features is the ability to jump right into a game with no download or install required. He notes later on that it's a feature that has resonated with publishers in particular, since it offers them a way to close the marketing loop and connect directly with players. No middleman required. We are asking gamers to buy the game, not the platform. Much of what Harrison had to say will sound familiar to those that have kept up with Google's previous Stadia announcements. His talking points, like being able to access games with no download, no patch, no update, and no install, have not changed much in the past month. Many of the topics he addressed during the short talk seem to be missing important context, however, especially whenever information on Stadia's business model would be helped to flesh out otherwise interesting features. Harrison did note that Google has architected the platform to support a variety of business models, but that specific information on that topic will not be announced until this summer at the earliest. While there are many things developers want to know about Stadia, Harrison did say that Google is taking care to make sure that devs are armed with the tools they need to focus less on the technical side of running games on Stadia and more on the creative possibilities that the platform opens up. Part of this comes from the fact that one code base is all that's needed to run a game on Stadia's many supported screen types, be it on a TV, tablet, phone, or computer. Devs will have the ability to tweak certain aspects of each as needed. However, like adjusting certain UI elements when a game is being played on mobile to best suit that experience. He also called out Stadia's State Share feature, the ability for players to share a link at any point in a game that allows other players to load into that exact moment of the game, as something he thinks will inspire game developers to create new and interesting moments and narrative. It's one of the features he says is unique to data center-powered game platforms, and one that offers a lot of room for developers to be creative with game worlds and multiplayer. That is something that you can only do when games are running on the data center. There's never been a more competitive time in the free-to-play mobile game market, and at the 2019 Game Developers Conference in March you will have unique opportunities to hone your mobile game making skills and learn new ways of grabbing and holding a healthy play while at the ASC. Most notably, THEGDC 2019 Mobile Summit offers you 2 days of talks dedicated to openness and boots of great game design and successful business strategies for games on iOS, Android, and other mobile platforms. For example, this year's Mobile Summit will feature King's Ishmael presenting a talk on To Affinity and Beyond, Lessons Learned Mapping the Mobile Games Market. Using King's treasure trove of mobile market data, Stadia will show you what the mobile gaming market looks like mapped using big data, and how to use this knowledge to explore opportunities or grow them for yourself. Can big data help game makers chart a fruitful course in today's shopping game market? You will find out by coming to this talk. And in the changing face of the mobile marketplace, congregate speaker Mike Miles will give you a valuable refresher in how things are different now by taking a look at fun mobile games, to relaunches, and to aging titles, to see what the modern mobile business looks like. He will walk you through the practical value of things like storefront featuring, user acquisition, test markets, performance improvements, competition, game updates, and more. Outside the summit, you will find lots of GD 2019 talks that offer potentially useful learnings for mobile F2P game makers. Among them, Defying Expectations, 7 Lessons from The Sims Free Play, from Electronic Arts, Mavis Chen. Part of the GD 2019 Business Marketing Track of Talks, Chen's session condenses 7 years of work on The Sims Free Play into 7 key lessons that have shaped his thinking and the game's success. Through multiple examples, Chen will illustrate the failures and difficulties that TSFP faced, and how they eventually resulted in insightful lessons that now heavily influence TSFP in live service. Live games are almost a way of life in today's F2P mobile game market, so do not overlook this talk. On the same track of talks, you will find Nature versus Nurture, Unpacking Player Spending in F2P Games, in which congregate Drew Levin will use several case studies from live congregate games to explore how and why some player behaviors are easier and more rewarding to change, while others have a nearly unbreakable ceiling. Free-to-play mobile game developers will hopefully walk away with a deeper understanding of how focusing on repeat spend will improve their business, and how that translates into design and product principles. And if you do like a bit of schadenfreude with your tips and tricks, consider checking out The Guy Who Ruined Angry Birds from Robbio's Man's Wild. Part of the design track is all about the design and development of Angry Birds 2, which had to be an F2 game that succeeded one of the most popular premium games of all time. It should be packed with practical takeaways for changing player expectations about mobile game economies. If nothing else, Wild promises it will be a very honest story about the good and bad decisions that ultimately made it possible to transfer the Angry Birds gameplay from one business format into a completely different one. Further details on these talks and many more are available now on THGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GD 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019, visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Apple is willing to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to fill out its Apple Arcade premium game subscription service with quality titles, as reported by the Financial Times, which claims to have spoken with multiple sources familiar with the matter. The iPhone maker will likely splash out over $500 million to create a tantalizing portfolio of top-notch mobile games. It's a hefty sum that shows just how serious Apple is about arcade, specifically when it comes to attracting top-tier talent from around the games industry. The company is also apparently offering perks to developers that agree to timed exclusivity deals, and has already agreed to spend several $1 million on individual titles. Natural